Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Softy and Hawkblogger preview show. It's been a little bit of time, my friend, since we've been able to get together and do this through no fault of your own, all my fault. But it's good to see your smiling face. How are you doing, man?
Yeah, first of all, I would disagree with that statement entirely. I think it's absolutely your fault that we did not do this a week ago. I'm blaming you for everything and for the loss in Arizona. So there you go.
It's true. I don't know about you. I am like just now recovered from that game.
Yeah.
Like, the players, they complain about how hurt they are after. Actually, they don't even complain, but they're aching after the games and they're taking ice baths. But as a fan,
yeah,
we're the ones that suffered the real pain.
Totally agree with you. I think the emotional distress that we go through as a fan compared to what players have to go through is totally unfair. And I think players need to recognize that and really have some empathy for what fans deal with on a weekly basis, because these guys are sitting on the plane going home and they're watching tape of the Cardinal game. They're taking Monday off from the facility and Tuesday, but they're getting tape sent their way, scouting reports on the Niners. They're moving on. They're turning the page immediately. I got people at this radio station telling me that, no, we got to spend 2 days talking about the freaking loss to Arizona. Well, I want to move on right away and start talking about the Niners because that loss freaking sucks. So I'm totally with you. It's about time somebody said it. Fans suffer way more than players do. It's not fair. You're right.
I appreciate the support, Dave. And that was probably one of the top 5 most painful losses I've had in the last 10 years as a Seahawks fan. That was a game they absolutely should have won, did everything they could have. There's a team that, what was they, 59-0 when leading by 4 points or more at halftime. They were 27-0 or 23-0. I can't remember which one, but they were undefeated when scoring 33 points or more. And they just flipped the script and managed to blow it. But now we're turning the page. We are turning the page and we are talking about this 49ers.
Wow, that's it. That's all you want to talk about with Arizona?
I don't want to talk anymore about that game.
That's fine.
I don't want to talk about the game.
I'll just take all my notes for Arizona and throw them out the window because that's all. I'm done. Forget it.
No one wants to hear it.
You move on, right?
No one wants to hear it.
This is like how Mike Holmgren responded to Super Bowl 40. He didn't even watch the tape, dude. I mean, it was the last game of the year. The season's over. They began that 2016 season with the Lions. You remember that, like 9-6 win in Detroit?
Yes.
At the same place they lost the Super Bowl, by the way. So he's like, the hell with it. I'm not watching this crap. And it took him like 10 years to watch the tape of Super Bowl 40. So maybe in 10 years from now, you and I can go back and talk about that Cardinal loss.
Well, I'll be able to watch it probably after we win the Super Bowl this year. But
there you go.
I want to see that happen. So let's kick off with actually the most recent news, hot off the presses, Pete Carroll's press conference. Looks like Jamal Adams actually got out on the field today. He was listed as questionable on the injury report. And Damon Snacks Harrison was also somebody who Pete Carroll said had his best week of practice, and all indications, all signs point to them moving him up this week to the active roster. They have 2 open roster spots as we speak. Typically what happens with a player like Snacks on the practice squad is they will elevate him on Saturday. But that was not all. We also saw Shaquille Griffin is out with a concussion. He is officially designated as out. We found out that Ugo Amadi is doubtful for this game. And not only that, I think we found out that Carlos Hyde is doubtful, as is Mikey Pop. So, other things I'll just throw out there real quickly. Chris Carson and Travis Homer show up as questionable. So of all those pieces of news, Dave, what jumps out to you the most?
Well, what jumps out to me the most is from a positive perspective that Chris Carson and Jamal Adams both may play in this game. I mean, I got to be honest with you, man. I would, if you came to me and said, you got to sacrifice Shaquille Griffin on defense on Sunday, but you get Jamal Adams and Chris Carson back, I think I'd probably take that deal, to be totally honest with you. I mean, I like Shaquille, but he's not a lockdown corner at all. I think playing George Kittle, you need Jamal Adams this week more than you do Shaquille Griffin. And I think you absolutely need Chris Carson to pound the rock 20 times in this game if he's ready to do that. So To me, it's a net positive if you just talk about those three guys. Upati, obviously, you're getting kind of thin at guard. There's no question about that. So knock on wood, if somebody else goes down, you could be in real trouble. But yeah, man, I mean, this is why you traded for Jamal Adams, right? For this game right here. I mean, you remember we're talking about Mike Holmgren back in the day when the Rams had the greatest show on turf with Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce, and the Seahawks went out and got corners like Kelly Jennings just to stop teams like the Rams. So the Seahawks went out, I think, partially and got Jamal Adams to stop players like George Kittle. So look, you're 5-1. Obviously, he's missed the last 3 games. If he comes back and helps you win this game by slowing George Kittle down, then I'll take it.
Well, and I think the other piece here is, you're likely without 2 of your 3 starting cornerbacks in Shaquille Griffin and Ugo Amadi. Yeah. But this is not a 49ers team that's, especially without Deebo Samuel, that is stacked at the receiver position. They also are not a team that generally tries to stretch you down the field. It's a lot of like wide, screens, end arounds, those types of plays. And so Jamal Adams is just way more useful in a game like that. And at the corner position, another name to watch in terms of guys, there's, like I said, there's 2 roster spots available, Dave. I think we see Snacks Harrison get elevated. I think I would have loved to have had him last week, to be honest, but if he's ready, great. Let's see him. This could be a great game for him to show up. Yep. And the other guy is DJ Reed. It's another name to watch. A guy that was on the 49ers that the Seahawks picked up this offseason late. And Pete just said he's ready to play. So he could come in and play that nickel corner position if Ugo Amadi cannot. So I think those are, to me, above all of the things, Jamal Adams playing, or I'm going, he's listed as questionable. I think that guy's playing.
Yeah. No, I think so too.
You agree?
I think so too. I mean, he's gone from not even being close to playing Wednesday, Thursday to now being questionable. So that's great news that we've seen some progress, whatever that means, in the last 24 hours. And I apologize. I'm not ignoring you. I'm looking at my phone. I'm trying to find some numbers I tweeted out the other day regarding Jamal Adams and a guy like Jaron Reed, because you mentioned Snacks Harrison there. And if Snacks Harrison can do what he's done the last 2 or 3 years, which I think he can, I think he's big enough to continue to be that kind of a player. And the great news for Snacks Harrison, guys, we don't need Damon Harrison to be awesome for us for 19 weeks. We need Damon Harrison to be awesome for us for the next 9 or 10 games, right? Until the playoffs begin. So he should have more tread left on that tire. And then frankly, man, Jaron Reed is driving me up a damn wall. I mean, this guy's making $10.5 million a year. 2018, I think it was 10 TFLs and 24 quarterback hits in one season. He's got 1 TFL in the last 16 games since the 2008 season, 10 games last year and 6 games this year. So my point is this. I don't know if Jaron Reed can do less for this football team than what he's doing right now. So if Jaron Reed can just bump it up a little bit, right? Because we know that kind of game is inside of him, and then pair him with Puna and with Damon Harrison, that's a decent looking 3-man rotation there at defensive tackle. So I'm hoping for more from him, but I'm totally with you on Jamal Adams, man. This is the week where you got to suck it up. I mean, look, dude, a lot of folks have said, I think it was even you before the Viking game, said, hey, look, just give him the week off. Give him the Viking week off, give him the bye, and let him come back before the Arizona game. Well, you gave him the Viking week off because you were hopeful he could play in the Arizona game. Now he's missed the Arizona game. He's had 3 weeks off, plus the bye. Get his ass back out there on Sunday. This is why you traded for him. Totally with you.
100%. I think it's huge game. And look, the Seahawks defense, we won't be breaking any new ground by saying bad things about the Seahawks defense. So I'm going to break some ground by saying I actually think this is the type of offense that actually could be a good matchup. I'm not going to say is a good matchup, but could be, because this is a team, like we said, that tends to play a little bit more horizontally than they do vertically. The Seahawks have been killed by giving up big plays. And so, last year, the Seahawks actually played the 49ers offense reasonably well. And they held the running game down quite a bit. Leading rusher, the most that any running back had for the 49ers last year in a game against Seattle was 57 yards. So I think that, they're down to Jermichael Hasty as their running back. Tevin Coleman might play. If Jermichael Hasty is the guy they have to go with, rookie, and Jamal Adams plays, Dave, I'm telling you right now, we're going to see blitzes. We're going to see mistakes by that rookie.
Yeah.
Jimmy Garoppolo get lit up. We're going to see him make mistakes, and we're going to see the Seahawks win. I think that's how important Jamal Adams is to this particular game.
Well, first of all, your take on the matchup, I think, and this is getting kind of ridiculous because we're just agreeing with everybody in the last 15 minutes. So either you got to say something stupid or I got to say something stupid so one of us can jump on.
My bet's on me.
Okay, great. 10-1, right? I think the matchup is much better for the Seahawks defense because Kyler Murray is not playing for the Niners, right? I mean, whatever semblance of a pass defense the Hawks had a week ago was going to have a much harder time showing up against that quarterback. There's a different animal with this guy. Jaron Reed, remember the near safety in the end zone against Kyler Murray last week?
Yeah.
He gets his hands around Jimmy Garoppolo in the end zone. He's going down. I would hope he's going down, right, versus Kyler Murray last week. So this is a much better matchup. There's no DeAndre Hopkins on this football team like there was a week ago. There's no running quarterback on this football team like there was a week ago with Kyler Murray. I'm actually a little more concerned about the offense this week against the Niners defense, to be totally honest with you. So we can talk about that in a second. But this defense is going to get, at some point in time, they're going to add Damon Harrison, Jamal Adams, Carlos Dunlap, Michael Kendricks, Rasheem Green, hopefully, knock on wood, Darrell Taylor, and then get Shaquille Griffin back from injury. Those are pretty significant names to add at some point in time. I don't know if there's a team in the NFL. Maybe the Niners, with the injuries they've had, could say the same thing. But not many teams in the NFL can add that type of name recognition as the year goes on. So never mind the trade deadline, man. I mean, just get these guys healthy. And I think this defense looks a lot better. PFF, if you follow them, I know that you do. They actually have the Seahawks, I believe, is the 6th or 7th best defense in the NFL overall. Top 10
Great.
For sure.
From a grade perspective, yes.
Right. Yes. But from their grading perspective, the issue is all about the defensive line. It's all about the pass rush. Secondary is okay when they're healthy. Linebackers, they have 2 of the top 5 guys in the NFL, Bobby Wagner and KJ Wright. The freaking pass rush is like the tires on a freaking Ferrari that have gone flat, and you're driving down the street with sparks flying off your wheels, man. The pass rush is sucking the life out of everything that this defense does. So let's hope these guys can help fix that.
It's so true, Softy. And I question for you. So they pick up Carlos Dunlap this week.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you were fired up about that move. Anything that gives more hope for that pass rush. Do you think they're done?
Yeah, I think they are. I think they are because of the lack of draft capital. I think when those guys, we talked about those guys coming back, Jamal Adams is going to help immensely in the pass rush. Michael Kendricks, hopefully. Jordan Brooks, hopefully starts to step up. Taylor Robinson, they've got pieces. They got pieces that could be an answer for their pass rush. And I just don't know what they can do unless they start trading big commodities on the offensive side of the ball, right? You start giving up, players like Tyler Lockett, right? For a big time edge rusher, not going to happen. So I think that they are done, Brian, because of the lack of capital they've got left. But this is the stuff that you and I talked about over the offseason, man. And not just you and me. I mean, everybody was talking about this. Nobody can be surprised by this. We all said Clowney +1. They go and get Bruce Irvin, who's a C-level free agent, Benson Mayowa, who's a C-level free agent, and they do nothing else. So in a lot of ways, this is on them. They could have had Ngakoue. They could have had Everson Griffin. They could have signed Damon Harrison earlier to help with the pass rush. They could have done a number of things, and this is why they're where they're at. It's a miracle they're 5-1, to be honest with you, with how bad this defense has been. So I think they are done. And I think that the pieces that will make this football team better are already inside that building. Dunlop, by the way, for example, had 42 quarterback hits combined in 2018 and 2019. I wonder how much of what's happening this year with him is him just being pissed off and just done with the Bengals and wanting to move on. How about you? You think they're done?
2 days ago, I would have said no.
Yeah.
I would have said, I think that they're still working for it to grab one more.
Okay.
I think because of the COVID stuff and how long it takes to bring guys in, I think that the chances are dwindling each day.
Yep.
But I'll say this: they should get one more.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They should get one more. And you talk about Jaron Reed, Dave.
Yep.
That guy, he's got the $5 million that you save on the cap if you get rid of him. And honestly, if Damon Harrison looks like he's decent. Right. Between Brian Monet, Poona Ford, Snacks Harrison, I'd be fine with moving Jaron Reed and his salary in order to get a Ryan Kerrigan or man, there's rumors, Dave. There's rumors about a lot of things. There's rumors about Melvin Ingram. I mean, if you add Melvin Ingram to this team, I am buying a ticket to Florida because that would be insane to have Ingram and Dunlap as your pass rushers after starting the season with Mayowa and Irvin. Huge upgrade. So we'll see. I'm
a plane ticket or a Super Bowl ticket, by the way.
Oh, I would do both.
Okay, because you realize your Super Bowl ticket this year is going to cost you about 15 times what it normally does.
I know.
You're only allowing about 20,000 fans in the building. So
I know.
As long as the missus is okay with you blowing the kids' college fund on the Super Bowl, then go for it.
Man, this is going to be one of those years where when the Seahawks are in that game, it's going to be a must empty the bank account experience. But
well, I'll tell you what, I've never watched the Seahawks in a Super Bowl on TV ever. So this might be the year that if they do make it, and God, listen to us, man, we are such freaking homers. We just got beat by Arizona on Sunday night, gave up 37 points and got our ass kicked on defense. Our quarterback threw 3 interceptions. And you and I are sitting here and talking about going to the Super Bowl and buying tickets. I love it.
How can you not? How can you not look at this team? I mean, they should be 6-0. They absolutely should be 6-0. So, all right, Softy, how are you feeling about this game? Last question before we wrap up here.
Yeah, I feel good. I feel good about Sunday. I always like betting on the teams that are coming off bad losses. Green Bay, for example, earlier this year came off that loss and looked great the next week. San Francisco losing that game in Miami and then looked great against the Rams the week after. So I like the Hawks. I just wish the fans were there. It's a big neutralizing factor for the Niners. And don't even get me started on that whole topic. We could be here all day, for God's sakes, but it is what it is. I just think the Niners are too banged up to come in here on offense and really put some serious points up on the board against the Seahawks. I do think that the Seahawks offense is going to be maybe in the mid-20s category in this game. I could see him winning a 24-17, 24-14 type game. I think Chris Carson's key. I think Jamal Adams is key. And like you a couple days ago, I feel better today about them winning this game after that news came out about Carson and Adams. So it's just hard for me to imagine this team losing to San Francisco for as banged up as they are on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball too. So yeah, I feel as good as you can about this game on Sunday. How about you?
I feel much better now, and I'll answer your question. I have a question for you. How significant would it be? What would it mean for the Seahawks to win this game? In the past, beating the 49ers was the measuring stick. Last year, that was the team to beat. How would you feel Sunday? Like, what would be proven Sunday if they beat the 49ers? Anything?
I remember about 15 years ago, the Mariners were nipping at the heels of the Angels in the West. And the Angels came to town for a 3-game series, and they just kicked our ass. And the Angels said to the Mariners, we don't care how close you get. We don't care what you've done before you play us. You are not winning this division as long as we're here. And I think if the Seahawks win this game on Sunday, that would be a message to San Francisco that, hey, look, we don't care if we have the worst defense in the Carroll era. We don't care if we're banged up. We don't care if we've got, players missing all over the field. We don't care if there's no fans here. You're not catching us, dude. You're not going to win this division, no matter what is happening here in Seattle. We have Russell Wilson and you have Jimmy Garoppolo. All right. It's not even a comparison. So I think it'd be a statement by these guys that this is the Seahawks division to lose this season, and the Niners have no business being in that conversation. The Niners may have business being in the wild card conversation, but the Seahawks win this weekend, Niners have no business being in the West conversation.
Yeah, I think that's right. And so last thing I'll say here, a bit of news, by the way. There's been a nasty Twitter rumor going around that we should end here. That Jamal Adams actually had a sports hernia and not a groin injury. And Pete Carroll was asked that question and said emphatically, no, he does not have anything related to a sports hernia.
Did Twitter start that rumor, by the way?
Of course, Twitter started that rumor, somewhere along there. So big game this weekend. I think the Seahawks, I think this is a need to win kind of game. I think this is one of those games. I think that this is a game where the defense, they've got to at least do, 30% of the job. It cannot be a game for 100% defend, depending on the offense to do it. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see Jamal Adams finally. I'm excited to see, hopefully, DJ Reed. I'm excited to see Snacks Harrison. By the way, Dave, going against backup center. Ben Garland is out for the Niners. Hronis Grasu or something like that is playing there. I think it's a great matchup for Harrison.
Woo-hoo.
All right, dude.
Fresh meat, baby. Fresh meat. Go get him. I love it. I love it. Start saving money for that $50,000 300 section Super Bowl ticket you need at Tampa Bay.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. All right,
what's
everybody.
The most money you would pay? What's the most money you would pay for a ticket for that game? 20,000? 25?
I don't know. It would depend on the ticket and
300 level, last row of the stadium. That's the best we can do.
Yeah, I don't know what the number is. I don't know the number is that I would say publicly. It's
you
probably
just
a lot
people
more
to
than
start
anyone else
figuring out how much money you make.
Nobody wants to know how stupid I am with my money. So,
oh God, I love it.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining. Dave, thank you as well. At Softy KJR, and don't miss him on 950 KJR this afternoon, every afternoon. If you haven't already, sign up over at patreon.com/Hawkblogger. Dave is not going to show his credit card today. We've managed to convince him not to do that.
Good call.
and
I saw some funny charges on my account last week.
So that was just because you showed it to me.
Okay, gotcha.
I have kept that picture. It's been very useful. You get immediate access to our Slack channel as soon as you join at patreon.com/Hawkblogger. It's $5. Come on in.
Love it.
We do not let Dave in there. We do not let Dave. So you're safe.
You guys like my mask, by the way?
Oh, nice, dude.
You want one of these? You think William Cornell?
To cover your whole face or just that part? Yeah, that's now we're talking.
This is my Halloween costume. You think Rain City Series wants one of these? You know,
I think you should send him a pack. I think you should send him a pack.
He's a Charger fan now.
I know he is. He's a huge Justin Herbert guy. I was wrong about that guy. I thought he was going to be terrible in the NFL, but he's
Chargers, Seahawks, Super Bowl. You heard it here first. William Cornell is rooting for the Chargers.
You're probably right. That would be super painful. I would have to out of all of our channels. All right, dude. Have a great rest of your day and good weekend.
Later.
Take care, everybody.